Hi guys, and welcome to the Voice of AI. My name is Chris Plant. It's now time for a tutorial in Photoshop Generative AI. Okay, so here's our end product fantasy today. It looks very nice, the spaceship on the background. Let's see how we did it. So we started off first of all by generating a desert landscape with a blue sky. Then the next stage was to make a selection and put a generative fill of a very realistic ice sculpture in blue ice. So here we get our three images. We click on one, the second one, and a third one. And I think if we look at that, the third one is probably by far the best. So I'm going to keep that in my selection. And what I want to show you as well is that when we bring an image in, that we actually have, you see here, it's an actual part of the image. So you can't really scale that image without selecting it. So let me just show you how to do that. We'll just switch the layers back on again. If we just start to scale it, you can see, look, it scales the background too, because obviously that's the selection. That's how AI works. It actually covers and selects the surrounding area. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this and make a special selection around it here. And you can see that we just copy that. We're going to see up here on the layers, you can just switch that on and off because that's a selected layer. But now we'll add a layer and then we'll copy and paste in place that layer. And you'll see that now I'm able to scale that in the horizontal and the vertical and move that around. But let's go back to the original. So here we go. So what we do now is we're going to select a part of the ground here, and I'm going to put another generative fill in here. And let's click on that and let's put in, we're going to create, add an oasis area. And you can see now that we've actually added a little bit of an area here. Now, actually, it's not come out like an oasis, but it's come out like quite an interesting hole in the ground. So it sort of covers up our ice sculpture and actually makes it look very realistic. And it's added a shadow too. So you can see that that's pretty cool indeed. So what we're going to do now is let's just shuffle these layers around a little bit now. And I like to merge them, but you can see here what we've got left is the iceberg. There's the shadow. There's the top of the ice sculpture. And then you can see the sky changing slightly when I click on that. But we can delete these now. Let's just throw away this layer. And then what we'll do is we'll throw away this layer also. And now what we can do is we don't need the background, and we can actually just merge these layers together. So let's just check them all again. Yep, we're all okay. And what I like to do is make one final layer out of every one. So I'm easily able to merge the layers and then you can see them above each other. So that's great. That's all on one merged layer. So now let's select the left-hand area and let's put a generative fill in there. Okay, so we're going to add a stream of sunlight to the sky. Let's see what happens there and generate that one. Here we go. Okay, so you can see now that we've actually not really got much sunlight, but it's given us a nice set of clouds. I really like those clouds. So let's leave the new clouds in there. Let's merge the layers again. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to open up let's just make that a bit smaller. We're going to open up the canvas size, and I'm going to enlarge the canvas size to 6,000 pixels on the width and 1,500 on the height. So now we've got a huge landscape. Okay, so let's select our image and then we'll invert that image so we have everything else selected. And what we're going to do now is another generative fill, and we're not going to put anything in this time. I want more desert and more sky. And look at that, that's perfect. So now we've got a really good landscape. It looks very nice indeed. So we can go left, we can pan right. Okay, so let's select an area here, because what I'd like to do is put another generative fill, and I want to add 3 moons so we can have some sort of fantasy area. So let's add 3 moons to the sky and let's generate. Okay, so now we've got moons there, but there's not 3, there's only 2. Let's have a look at the second and third. Okay, let's click on number 2 and number 3. Okay, I don't like those, and that doesn't work very well at all. So let's keep these moon selections. I like these 3, but let's just take our selection tool, and what we'll do is we'll just highlight the moon on the right, and what we'll do is we'll just use the generative tool as well. Of course, I could delete that, but let's just put remove in here and generate. Okay, that's perfect. Now that's gone. Excellent. So now I'm going to try something different. I'm going to get rid of my ice sculpture and I'm going to add a spacecraft because I think it's more like the background now. I'm kind of getting into this now. So, oh, wow, look at that. That looks really cool. So there's a cool one. Let's have a look at what others. That looks really smart. I like that. It's kind of some sort of weird spacecraft. Okay, so let's have a look at image 2 and 3. Okay, interesting. And that one doesn't really fit with the scenery, but although interesting. So let's go with this one here. You can see there's a mini shadow on at the moment, but let's make our canvas size a lot bigger. So let's go a little bit bigger in the height, 3,500 now. Okay, we'll double that. That looks pretty good. And now we'll do another generative fill, because I'd like to select that bottom part, and obviously I want the same land. There we go. Look at that. That's absolutely looking superb. Great. So now the last thing left to do now is to zoom in a little bit, is to create the shadow. So let's just make a space where the shadow should be. The sun's coming from the top left. So let's do a generative fill, and we'll insert shadow here. And there we go. Look at that. Perfect. We'll just toggle between them and have a look. That's a bit weird. That's okay. I think I like the first one though. I think I like that one the most. It's got a great angle. That looks really good. So I'm going to choose that shadow, and there's our final image. Let's just have a quick zoom out, move away the bar there, and have a look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So you can really make a lot of great fantasy images and make them look really cool very, very easily and very, very quickly. That's great. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching the video. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel for more AI-related content and tips, and join me on the journey to unlock the potential of AI. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. All the very best. I'm Chris from the Voice of AI. Cheers and bye-bye now.